Hello, and welcome back to our Settlement Survival Let's Play series, Season 2, Episode 1. It was such a fun time with Season 2, and now we're going to amp it up on this second season and really go to town on this. As you can see, we have our brand new map. I went ahead and threw down some buildings just to get us started. Just so you know, if you've never played the game before, there's some specific buildings that you want to get laid in at the very beginning. And that is right here's your clinic. You want to make sure you get your church down. Another critical building is your hunter's hut, which is your hunter's cabin. And then your smithy, which was before called the blacksmith. And now your clothing shop. You also want to make sure that you don't forget to put down your repair shop, because buildings fall apart rather quickly. And then you have to make a choice. Do you want housing? Do you want, the apartment complex? And I chose the apartment complex because I want to get everybody housed real fast. And I'm not too worried about breeding right this second. And then you want to make sure you have your town hall down, because if no town hall, well, guess what? No immigrants, and that's a bad thing. And for our skills, you just hit letter T. And what I've chosen right off the bat is I chose the police station. Now, a lot of people would question me, why did I do that? Well, it allows me to banish people, so when our first wave of immigrants comes in, I can get rid of the sick people. Sick people are bad, especially since we can't really do anything about it, and I really did not want to spend the points on it. So I chose the police station. Then I went ahead and, let's see if I can find it, I went ahead and chose sand mining. And the whole reason why I chose sand mining, comes down to the agriculture, because I want to get these skills as fast as I can. And it requires that you have sand mining. So I went ahead and got that one out of the way. And where's my third one at? Third one is... I got my sand mining. Oh yes, sawmill. Gotta have the sawmill. And the reason why I chose sawmill is if you go through the achievement, if you build the smithy, the clothes shop, and the sawmill in the first year, then you'll get an achievement. And of course, that's one achievement I do not have, and I think I'm going to try to pick it up on this one. Now, before I hit start on the game, I went ahead and made sure that the builder's cabin was full. So I have all 6 people in there, so they're going to build as fast as possible because I do want that achievement. Now, the other people that are left over that aren't doing anything, they should turn around and clear this field. And the reason why we're clearing the field is if you go over here, they've given us chili pepper seeds. So we're going to need to get our crop started, because we have to feed our settlers. And then while they're building all this fun stuff, and if we have the time, if you notice, there's a little gatherer's icon. I know it's close here. Yeah, it should be hidden right there. I'm going to send all my people to gather stuff right around here. And what I'm going to hope for is I'm going to trigger the seed event, which will give us our first free seed and another crop to plant. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. And we're going to go ahead, and if you use your F1, F2 keys, you can speed up the game. And watch all these guys. They're just going to start taking off. The ones that are standing around are the kids, and they're just like, no big deal. Better unpause this apartment complex and get them going and start making that happen. And we're going to go ahead and get our chili peppers going. I'm only going to have just a couple people working on this. Matter of fact, I think 3 will work. And I went ahead and chosen not to do anything as far as getting any of that other stuff done because I want my people to really get working on stuff. And why are you people standing around? You really need to start doing your work here. Come on. Get moving. And let's go ahead and see what this first event, for all you new players, when you see something down here on the bottom left, it's an event, and it's a bee swarm, which I don't ever recall seeing. So it's spring wildflowers are blooming beautifully. Awesome. Some citizens want to pick some flowers to decorate their homes. Well, that's kind of funny. They don't have any homes right now. But soon discovered that this year's honey hives are extraordinarily numerous. There are so many beehives in the woods near the settlement. Do you want to clean up these hives? So I'll probably lose a settler. Let's clean them up. Citizens smoked away the bees with smoke. Yay! And we got honey and beeswax. Awesome. We can use that down the road. And then we'll go ahead and as soon as they get that going, we'll open up these other buildings to be unpaused, so hopefully they will get this stuff built within the first year. And now that we have... see, we already lost somebody freezing to death. That is just so wrong. But it is what it is. It's the middle of winter, and it's how they have the game set up. Nothing I can do about it. And we're going to go ahead and look at our lumber supply, and we're down to 248. And this fuel supply we have to really keep an eye out on, because if we run short of fuel, then we're going to have problems with keeping our settlers warm. Now, we're going to go ahead and get them started on iron tools, even though I really don't need to, but they're still only 51. So we don't ever want to run out of tools. And they're going ahead and getting that built quickly. And we just might make it, we just might get this achievement here. And then after we get these buildings built, we'll go ahead and get the repair shop started next, because we don't want any of the buildings to fall apart. We already have somebody injured, so that means they're going to work slower, and that's no good. So the only way you can combat that is by go ahead and building stuff, such as the clinic. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do. I got to go ahead and pause this. I'm pausing the game because, one, we got a technology point, but here I want to show you in the clothing shop, we don't have any animals yet or anything like that, so I really don't have any of this stuff to make clothes. So the best thing you can do is just go ahead and pause the building. That takes the person out, so you can use them for other things, and hopefully we will get an animal or something like that rather quickly. And I'm going to go ahead and send my people out and get them to gather stuff, and hopefully they'll be able to get this seed event triggered. And we're going to go ahead and tell them to work on that as fast as possible. And let's see if we can get this thing built and get the achievement, because achievements are nice. Now, for those of you that want to know what size field this is an 11 by 11. And I turned around and chose the 11 by 11 field because if you really think about it, all the bonus areas, I'm going to go ahead and pause it because, yes, matter of fact, why didn't we receive our, we didn't receive our achievement? That's wrong. That is just so wrong. Anyway, let's go ahead and bring up our technology points. Now, just so you know, what you do here in your technology points does advance your colony. And for what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and pick up this research institute. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because we want to be able to get our development points faster. So by selecting this, we're going to be able to build a research institute and start collecting points quicker. Now, another way you can collect research points fast is by putting down schools. So that's something you're going to want to be able to educate your settlers, all the kids, but eventually you'll be able to get into larger schools where you can educate your immigrants, because the smarter the people are, the more productive they are, and more successful our settlement will be. Now, let's see. Aha! Our free seed that we received is a pea seed, and that's a very excellent crop to have. It is actually going to be your mainstay crop for your rough foods. So pretty happy with that. And I'm not too worried about building that field next, because just simply it's no big deal. I mean, if I went ahead and built it now, they're not going to be able to start planting. So if I do it before wintertime, then life is good. So since it is warm right now, I'm going to take all my extra people and I'm going to just have them collect up all the herbs that I can get and try to bank up on some of this stuff. Now, things you want to watch out for over here in the left column is like your ore levels, your stone levels. You want to make sure that you have plenty of that. You don't want to run out. Now, like right now, I'm getting really low on my raw materials for my timber. So I have a choice. I can do a gather, which will allow me to take everything, your stone, your iron ore, plus the trees, or I could just take trees, or I could just take herbs, or I could just take the stones. But I'm right now, since we are getting low on stuff, and I'm just going to go ahead and clear out this small little area for right now. And all my extra people that aren't doing anything should go attack that. Now that our repair station is done, we're going to go ahead and get the clinic started. Now, with the clinic, as you can see, our health bars dropped. But once we get this clinic put in place, we're going to notice that things are going to improve in our health. Now, what you don't see hidden under here is we have a well for water. I'm going to go ahead and get that one started as well, because if we run out of water, our citizens, our settlers, are going to get extremely unhappy really quick. Now, for those of you that have never played before, if the trees get annoying to you, just go ahead and hit the letter H, and it's far easier to see the map. So when you're trying to build things and put in roads and all that, go ahead and hit that. It makes life a whole lot easier. Now, I'm actually not going to put in any roads until I get this stuff built, because I want to get this stuff built as quickly as I can, but I also don't want to slow my workers down. We're going to go ahead and pause it again and see our technology point. As you can see, our first couple ones are pretty fast and easy to get. Now, this is where we have to start choosing what we want to do with our settlement. And it gets to be a little crazy, because like if I do medical, then here you get cholera. So if you get an immigrant that's sick with cholera, they can be cured. Same thing with measles. But right now I really would just rather banish the immigrant, because I want to use those skill points for something else. And livability, they've got some great stuff here. Like if I go with fermenting, then I could start bringing beer and all that other, start making it. But right now, the things that have me worried the most and that I really want to get fixed first and concentrate on is we want to get our herb seeds, because if especially for new players, if you don't have herbs, your life becomes very miserable real quick, and your settlers will start killing each other. Because as you can see, how our health bar is now in the yellow, if that keeps on continuing to go down and our happiness bar gets into the red, people are going to start killing each other. And we want to avoid that at all costs. But the other problem is we have to keep plenty of food. And, here this farming efficiency allows our farmers, twice the speed. So it's like, oh, which one do I do? Which one do I do? And so you have those choices that you have to make all the time. And so I'm not going to worry about the food part just yet. And I'm going to go ahead and go down this tech branch. And this one, I already know it's going to take clay. And since I can already make clay, I'm going to get that building started soon. And I should have plenty of clay so I can build these nurseries and other things that I want. So, and these tree farms, now that they have the new disaster in place, I think these things are going to be extremely critical, because now if we clear cut forests, we have to worry about sandstorms destroying our settlements. So, yeah. So this is the route that I'm going to take. And even though I'm not going to really make any apiaries right now, I just want to get the skill out of the way. So I'm just going ahead and get this thing unpaused and keep on going. Now, if you notice, I still have 5 people available to use. You don't ever really want that to drop to 0, because if you do, if somebody dies, you're in trouble. Now, if you notice, I have not placed a cemetery yet, and I need to get that done as well. Because if somebody dies and there's no place to bury them, it starts to affect their happiness level, and that's no good. So, that's something we need to watch out for. Now that the clinic is done, we're going to go ahead and get the church started. Now, the church, once that's built, it's going to give us a bonus to everybody. So hopefully we're going to see some of this stuff kick up. And, that's really good when that happens. And we're still waiting on, see? If you notice, I ran out of stone, I ran out of lumber, and buildings aren't going to be made. So right now, I'm hoping all my settlers are running around collecting stuff. And let's go ahead and see what they're doing. And right now, they're running around collecting the herbage. So they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Just unfortunately, they're not doing what I need them to do right this second. So what I should do is, we have the ability to tell them to stop what they're doing. But since it's so close to winter time, I'm going to go ahead and let them finish off grabbing their herbs, and then they can start collecting the wood that we need and collect the stone and iron. So I'm going to go ahead and put the trees back in and allow them to do their thing. And if you notice, they're getting cold, which is a bad thing. And right here we have our fuel level at 300. And this one actually stopped working because I have it set at 200. Well, I'm going to go ahead and the bad thing is, if you notice this little icon, it says total reserve is 0. So right now, even if they wanted to make domestic fuel, they couldn't, because they don't have any trees. But the other good thing is now that they're not busy, they're helping out the other settlers collect stuff. So anytime you see an icon like this over one of the buildings, that person is helping out the laborers do what you've told them to do, like cut down trees, pick up stone, collect iron. Now, if you notice, we have iron again, and we're getting trees again, which is a good thing. Now, the one thing you also want to take a look at is this bar up here in the top right. This tells you what's getting ready to happen. Like, we have a merchant ship coming, and so it would be smart of me to get the ferry going, but I'm the type of player, I don't have anything to trade, so I'm not going to stress over it, and I'm not going to worry about it. And I bet you I did not get the achievement because I had this on pause. How much you want to bet? Yeah, we still didn't get the achievement. Oh well, I'm going to go ahead and pause it again. It is what it is. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. And what's this missing? They're still unhappy because they don't have stone. So we're going to go ahead and collect some stone here, which should be this little pile right here. And if you notice, this little area is getting really full. It's up at 65%, and that's no good. And now that this is built, I think, well, once this gets built right here, I have a choice. I can either make my ferry or I can go ahead and do the hunter's cabin. And I'm going to go ahead and start the hunter's cabin because I do want to hopefully get them to capture me an animal so we can start breeding animals. I'm going to go ahead and pause this again and look at our skill points because we achieved another one. And I'm going to go ahead and go over to agriculture and I'm going to pick up the grove. Now, granted, I'm not doing anything with these right now, but that's fine. I mean, right now, I'm only worried about the nursery and these two items over here. So it's okay. And now that we have that going, I'm going to go ahead and get my hunter's cabin started. And then we don't have to worry about immigrants yet, so I don't have to worry about building my police station yet. But it would be kind of smart of me to build some type of storage right here for my water, because right now my water's in red and they're not happy clams. So we're going to go ahead and hit H so we can see what's going on. And right over here in this little icon right here has our warehouses. And this should allow me to build a 3x8 or 3x7, which should match up my roads if I'm correct. And let's just double check before I unpause the game. I can do that. And I could have actually won a 3x8. So I'm going to go ahead and stop that from being built. I'm going to go back to this icon, collect my warehouse, and go to a 3x8, which will then, we're going to keep a good eye on this, and we're going to watch them build it. And as soon as it gets done being built, then what we're going to turn around and do is we're going to pause the game so we can set the filter. And this is the filter right up here in these 4 squares. Go ahead and click on that. And you have your food, beverages, medicine. You can actually set filters for your warehouse. Well, the only thing I want here is water. So I'm going to tell them that you cannot put anything in this warehouse other than water. And it works out really well because with my well right here, they just have to cross the road and deposit the water, and it'll make life easier for everybody. And now that we have the bulk of our buildings done, I'm going to go ahead and concentrate all my road building. Because now that I have the really critical stuff being built or have been built, I can go ahead and get my roads in, and that will allow them to move much faster in our settlement. Now, could I have started another pea production for another field? I could have, but I chose this time. I'm just going to go ahead and let it slide for this season. It's no big deal because right now we're actually doing pretty good on water. On food. So I'm okay with that. Now, if you notice, it's still unhappy with our stone. It's unhappy with a bunch of stuff right now. So we have to figure out what's best for our settlement so we can, continue to live, thrive, and survive. So I'm going to take my extra people and we're going to go ahead and, since there's nothing bad up on that bar as far as nasty stuff coming at us, I'm going to tell them to basically vacuum up everything here. Now, the one thing I am going to do, which I've always tried to stay from, well, I'm going to try to stay from it for this build, is putting random warehouses all over the place. I'm going to try to keep those under control. But this little warehouse is almost 100% full. And so I just want to get one warehouse out of the way that I'm not going to build anything in right to this second, and get it built so they can just toss their stuff in. And now that almost have the majority of my roads in, we're going to go ahead and add some more roads to make people happy, get our pathing so people can move around faster. And once that is done, then we are going to go ahead and start building houses. And I am probably going to drop down, we need at least 8 houses right now. So I am going to go ahead and drop, I don't know, let's say 4 houses, 5 houses right off the bat. And now that I'm somewhat happy with my road situation, I'm going to go ahead and get town hall built. And by having the town hall built, we're going to be able to start receiving immigrants. And that's something that we definitely want to have, because immigrants are especially important in this game. And we definitely don't want to not be able to get immigrants. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this and show you some icons here. And right here's this new crop seed. We now have oats, which sending all my people out collecting stuff, it was a huge benefit to us, because now we've actually have 2 more, a total of 2 more crops that we can build other than our chili peppers, which is really nice. And let's go ahead and I'll go ahead and show you this right here. This tells you how many people want new housing, which is basically the game telling you of, hey, you better give these people housing if you want babies. And of course, we want babies because we want the settlement to grow. And let's check out this new event, which is the hospital admitted patient who is unable to move his limbs. The patient has been in a coma with a high fever for a week, but did not seem to have life-threatening condition. Doctors have been studying this case for a long time, and we're at a loss, having never seen this disease before. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's just keep him stable. He swelled a lot, but regained his health and seemed to be better now. Okay, whatever. Life is good for him. So, this is actually a very good start to the beginning of our map. And as you can see, we don't have an animal yet. And we don't have an animal yet because we don't have a hunter. We need a hunter. We need to get these people collecting stuff. And they're taking their old sweet time on getting the stuff that we need, but once we have it, they'll go ahead and bring it over here and get what we need. Now, unfortunately, as you can see, our fuel reserves are low. That means we're heading into wintertime very closely soon, and there's a good chance that we're going to have some really seriously cold people. They're going to be unhappy, and there's a good chance that they're going to die. So that's something I'm going to have to fix and get addressed rather quickly. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is, and what I recommend to everybody, is put just a small size warehouse here. And once they have it built, then we're going to go ahead and filter it to accept lumber and domestic fuel, and that will keep our sawmill guys from running too far. So we're going to go ahead and get this filtered. Now, if you notice it says timber here, just go ahead and just, knock these ones out and then eliminate the rest of this stuff. But then keep fuel highlighted, but not industrial fuel. It's two totally different types of fuels that we can talk about later. But by now having it set up like this, then what I'm going to want to do is come over to this warehouse, and I want to go over here to raw materials, and I want to turn off the timber and allow whoever needs to use timber run over here to get it, because I would rather have these folks over here have access to the timber, which is extremely critical to have warmth in our colony. So yeah. And if we notice, see, they're already tossing lumber there. And they'll turn around. And I'm going to move this number up to 500. And they're going to seriously beat up our timber supply, which is fine. It's no big deal. I'll just keep on getting more and more timber and make everybody happy. And because now if you notice, we have a ship that's going to be here any minute, which we're not going to be able to do anything with because I haven't built a ferry. But right here we have immigrants. But if you notice, our town hall is already being built. And matter of fact, it's about ready to be finished. And with that, life will be good. And now we'll be able to accept immigrants. So life is good. So I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here because we're into 31 minutes. And if you liked anything that you saw, if you liked the video, go ahead and hit like. And if you want to see more episodes like this and want to be notified about it, please hit follow. And you'll be able to see all the new content that we're going to be providing. So I'm Larry, and you have yourself a great day because I know I am. And I will see you in the next episode.